Hi everyone, and so today I wanted to tell a story of a tower moment in my life, where all my structures, all my belief system, all my reality just crumbled down for spiritual awakening. Well, um, I started to do some Reiki sessions years ago, like maybe, I don't remember, 2012, maybe, yes. 2011, I think. 2012 was when I did my first initiation of Reiki. But before I did some Reiki healing, because I didn't have any knowledge of spirituality. In fact, I was considering, didn't believe in God or source or saints, angels. I didn't believe. Maybe I did believe in a guardian angel, but I didn't call it that way. But because somehow I always knew that I had some force protecting me. But it was like I believe that it exists something, but I don't know how, what it is, what is it called. But I did really know that something was beyond our existence, might be existing, might be real, but I didn't know what. And I went to churches. I went when I was younger, and I didn't fit in. I didn't identify myself with all that stories, and I thought they were if God is love, they would say God is love, but they were so judgmental and so in creating this image of God being really punisher, and if God is love, why the image of God is like punishment? That didn't make sense. So I just let go of the spirituality. I went to experience my life in the darkest way, like everyone else, and had my experience on drugs, alcohol, sex, and yeah, just living it up like a teenage of my age, but a rebel one. In fact, I was really a rebel. I didn't fit in, so I just went against the rules. I didn't care too much. So, but I was really depressed. I had most of suicidal thoughts. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to kill myself, and for a lot of times I struggled because I felt so, I didn't appreciate life at all, at all. Life for me was just a pain in the ass. I just wanted to die really quick, really soon, and didn't want it to be here at all. Because for me, being here was really challenging, so I didn't want to be here. So, as I started to go through spirituality, I went through the Wanda Center where we did meditation. Marta was the one that brought me to spirituality. First through the Umbanda, where I had to feel it because I was susceptible, and I had to feel it in my body, that energy flow. It was a party of Ogum, which is it's an entity that that represents the fight against evil, protection, a warrior, like it's a warrior spirit. It came from the has the strength, the courage, it is a fighter. Ogun is a fighter, and he fights against evil. And I don't know why, but maybe because I'm also a spiritual warrior, but in a person. I had to go through that initiation after the Reiki, of course, the first level. But I had to go through that initiation to feel the energy and to really understand there wasn't something that was, how do you say, there was a myth. There wasn't a myth. That I could feel. I could almost touch. But I felt deep in myself, and I was trembling because there was this altar, and we put ourselves in the knees, and then we had this pillow where you put our head in, our forehead, and we made a wish. But as I put my forehead there, I was just start to getting dizzy because the energy was so strong. I was not used to it, and I was like, what is this? And when I tried to get up, I just almost fell down. But there was always people like looking, the mediums that were working there to help the people, that wasn't used to it. And even the mediums, when the entity had this strong energy force, they couldn't handle themselves. Sometimes the entities would bring us down, like we fell on the floor. And as I started to develop, I didn't start to incorporate there. I felt the energy of an entity called Pombagira, which is comes from the Maria Padilha, which is a very known witch, was a very known witch, and she's also became a queen for her king. They live the forbidden love. So, but they have a very, very powerful energy. That's why I was just overwhelmed with it. But it was really good. And then I started to go to the Marta. Got away from that center. It was a center that was led by other lady. I think her name was Christina. I don't remember. But she opened her own, and we started to do the sessions there in a less people group, but also with the same mission, like helping, make healing, and incorporate. So I started to develop my medium skills, my psychic skills through the incorporation. And it was really, really heavy at the beginning because, as I said, when you are not used to it, and when you are an inexperienced medium, and I didn't understand how it worked, and didn't understand how that energy could have such a power over my body, over my and I was really full of resistance because, as a Capricorn, I like to be in control of everything. I like to keep it together, and I couldn't. It was just and the more you try to resist it, the more the entities throw you to the floor, and it was really heavy. at the beginning. But then, as I started to trust more in the process, I started to really do my healing, not only there, but also with the other sessions of meditation presented by Marta. She was really helpful, because I didn't have much money that time to participate in all the sessions, and most of them she gave it to me for free, and I wasn't able to be who I am now if it wasn't for her help and for her friendship at the time. And so I started to develop my gifts, and I also went to other teachers, like one of them was a quantum teacher. It was oh my god, I don't remember the name, but that's okay. And the other was a Brazilian one, and was all classes online, and they were really good, really good. And I started to develop really fast, and I didn't have any abilities. So, but then I was really happy. I was really starting to feel more comfortable with being in my skin. I was feeling the angels' energy, and the spirit guides' energy was really, really comforting. Really, the divine love is so beautiful that it I cannot explain. You really have to deep dive in to feel it. But those sessions were like a way to access the energy, because we had the group and all the guides that were protecting all the sessions. So it was really, really, really good. And then I started to do some tarot readings. It was really fun, because my God just threw me to a session with a woman. I didn't feel prepared for that reading. I have to be honest right there. I wasn't prepared, but they were like, you do it, you put a value and just do it. And I said, but I did the course, I have the manual and stuff, but I didn't read it. I don't know what the cards mean, and etc., etc. And they were like, no, you do it. You do it. You all know. Just do it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I was like, so scared. So, oh my God, how's it gonna work? I have no idea what the meaning of the cards. And I start to read it, like to try to. Nothing became established. The knowledge didn't become established in my mind, because I was freaking out as, yeah. And so I did it, and it was really amazing, because I was looking at the cards like this, and then I was like, oh my God, I see this, I see that, I see, and like the information just flew through my third eye, and I was seeing clearly what the story was telling the cards, and I was telling the person that I didn't know. Okay, it wasn't my friend, it was a real client, and she was like, oh yes, I've been through that, I've been. And I was like, oh my God, I'm seeing. It was really fun, and I tried to just don't show how I was, how immature, or how I didn't get it at all. I wasn't prepared for that, but okay. And that's how I was. I was like, okay, if my spirit guides just tell me something and they say, like, go for it, but go with the conviction, don't doubt it, you just go, doesn't matter, trust. And I will do that. So that's why I'm having also this channel, because I had to share these informations and on my experience, so I can bring more knowledge to everyone. And so at that time, I met another girl. I already met her, but she went to my path again. But in the first, even before the first time I met her, the first thing my intuition told me was that she was a person that wasn't trustworthy, because she would do whatever it takes to get what she wanted. She would do whatever it takes to get what she wanted. And I just gave it a shot, and she, at that time, she was helpful, really helpful in some part, and I'm really grateful for all that she brought me. That was really positive, really, really positive. But as we continue to be related, she started to get jealous of my abilities, and she became facade. She had this facade of a friend, but she wasn't a friend. She wanted to see me bad. She was controlling me. And as I started to get more happy, she was just didn't. She wasn't able to handle my happiness. She became mad. She didn't want me to be happy because she was feeling miserable. How can other people, how can she feel happy when I'm feeling miserable? And in this kind of behavior, this kind of thoughts, is what keeps you stuck in that miserability. And I saw it myself, and she started to do me black magic also. It was because she met in that she helped me, because as I was dealing with Marta was in the group of bandits. She started to use dark entities, and I had warning her, hey, there are another therapist where you are getting too much, give her too much attention. Her name was Rita, and she is using the radionic table to manipulate you. And she didn't like it. She didn't like it that I knew more than she did. She didn't like it, so she started to be more friends with Rita, and using also black magic, because she needed the power. She was greedy of power. I want power. I want more power. And when you start to go on a spiritual journey, and you are focused on having power over others, having greedy, this power isn't enough, this power isn't enough. Then you go, you get trapped on the devil's tricks, the devil's manipulation, and you get caught. And that's what she did. So she knew it was really hard for her to make me go to the devil's path, because I have this pure heart, and that's, God knows that, and she also knew that. And then, but I had to learn how to use also my mean side, so I could protect myself from those kind of people, those mean people, those heavy people, evil people. Because if you have a mean side, you have to use it, but you have to use it strategically. You have to use it with intelligence, with you have to be as smart as they are, but in a strategic way. And so God gave me this tower moment. It was really tower moment. It was like all the structures that I had, they fall all together apart. All of them. And I mean, family, the spiritual path I was on, I realized that was a big, they have so many masks. And I understood why somehow some entities was trying to give me some messages, but they did it really in a low volume, so the others couldn't hear, and I didn't understand that. Then everything started to make sense to me. Anyways, and they also talked about my grandmother. Every time I was going there, they had to clean my path, because my path was always blocked. And I didn't understand why. Who wants me bad? Who's doing this to me? I didn't understood what was going on. I had to go to this tower moment. And it all happened when I was attending some dance lessons and school, really good. And I fell in love with my teacher of hip hop, and I knew him from another lifetime. And then I was so in love, and I don't usually make declarations of love, but I did. I had to go through it, and did. But before that, I went to a rune reading. Runes are really good. I also read runes because I love it. And the lady was a shaman from Peru, which is she has a lot of knowledge. And I saw what was like magic looked like, because I had a spell made by my grandmother, and at the time I didn't know it was my grandmother, but I had some spells, and my twin flame, it was my professor that they told me it was my twin flame, but yeah, maybe it is. Twin flames come to bring you lessons. So I got my lessons. Well done. was really fucking hard, but I'm learning it, and I'm really grateful for all the disappointment, all the disillusion that that person brought me, so I could really embrace myself and start to really love myself. But anyways, until that, I was to the room session, and the woman told me she didn't know me or him, so it was really neutral. And she told me that her girlfriend was doing loving ties, like black magic loving ties on him, and and that I had really, really bad evil eye at home, and I had to protect myself really heavily. And okay, so I did it. I started to be more aware. I paid 50 euros to cut my black magic, and it was really creeped me out because I didn't have that experience before. And we had to use a tissue, just to have our energy. And the only thing she had was water, and it was like she made a prayer to be blessed the water, and the tissue, only water and the tissue of paper. And she said if it was a black magic, it would be fire would appear. And I was like, fire. She had this bone made with the machado, I don't know how I say. Well, but it was a instrument made with bone, real bone. A shaman. So she just started to say the prayers and stuff, and it was like fire appeared, and I was like, oh my god, this is real. And I was like, oh my god. And I felt this heavy energy just getting over me, and she started running, saying, go away. And I was starting burping, because when you have a lot of negative energy, you start to burping. Or burping is more effective. So it was like, oh my god. And then she told me, can you do it to your crush? And I said, okay, I can. And but I don't have anything of him, because she said, oh, you can bring some, you can bring some pants, or you can bring some underwear, or, no, I don't have access to that. And I was like, okay, well, but I will figure it out, so I don't know. And so, we were in the vacations of the school, the dance school, and I was thinking, oh my god, how can I get his energy, whatever. And when we came from vacation, I was in the balcony of the secretary to pay the membership, and he came to me and he kissed me on the cheek. And I was like, oh my god, he kissed me on the cheek, and I was so nervous. I never have done that before. And throughout the class, it was the first class of the year. Throughout the class, we had this water machine where we drink water, and I was trying to get his energy from saliva and I didn't get it, and it was really yeah. And I was, oh, how can I free him, whatever. And then I realized that his energy was all over my face. So I used a tissue to cut his spell, to break his spell. And I went there and I paid 50 euros to break his spell. So, and I saw the fire and whatever. But when I did that, I started to have some really heavy energy after me. That was from his girlfriend. His girlfriend starts casting really heavy spells on me. And I just got so damn depressed. And then I started to that friend I was thinking then I lost my job. In fact, I quit because I wanted to live only by the consultations. I had some. She was the one, that new friend, that put some people in my way to give that consultations. And I'm really grateful for it. I'm really, really grateful. And but she always was privileged because she had someone that could tell her a lot of things that you cannot get access in by regular people, you know. And so we had this moment when she had this grandmother in her house, the house that she was living in, that was a witch, and she passed away. And she made a really, really heavy curse on her, so she couldn't have a family, have kids, you know. She was really heavily cursed by her. And I said, oh, okay, you have to, your grandmother is here, because I could channel the people that passed away. And your grandmother is here, so she wants to break the curse. She wants you to break the curse so you can have a family. Yeah, so you can, and she's asking to forgive you, for you to forgive her. And so she broke the curse with the priest, and it was really yeah. And in favor, her grandmother, for what I've done with her, because she healed a big part of her karma by doing that, by doing good to a grandchild. She told me the truth about my grandmother, and so she helped me through her grandchild to break the curse, my own curse that my grandmother had done to me. So, but I was the one that was going to break the curse, because through that time I started to identify black magic, people that does black magic, and also I started to break the spells of black magic. And she told me, this is a spell that you will break, but it's not like other spells. This is much heavier. And I was like, really? Like, how much heavier is that? It's really heavy. You have to be prepared. You have to call off all of your archangels, angels, all the guardians, and you'll do it here. You won't do it in your grandmother's house. And I said, okay, well, let's do it. I was still in shock because I knew that my grandmother was a witch. She was casting spells on me, and I had to have the bravery to just cut all the curse she did to my mother and to myself at the same day, at the same moment. It was really heavy. And so I did. And a demon like I've never seen before passed through me, like really a lot of demons, in fact. And I thought, oh my God, I won't go through this alive, because the demons were so strong, and it looked like a really movie scene, or a terror movie scene. It really looked like a horror movie scene. But it was real life. It was in fact real life. It was my life. And I said, okay, I just had another situations where I was persecuted by demons and stuff, whatever. But that was a situation that really made me strong, because in that day I had to go back to my grandmother's house, and she was like having this. I just felt there was happening some turbulence around there. I knew it was happening, some turbulence around there, because when you cut a spell that powerful, believe me, things will fall off the ground, things will tremble, whatever. I wasn't there, thank God. So I'm really grateful for that girl. Her name is Andrea, because she helped me release that. But the next nights were really a nightmare, because my grandmother started to cast spells and spells and spells and spells, so she could recover all the power that she had when she did that curse. And I was so drained. I was so drained. It was after I had this disappointment. No, it wasn't. It was before. And I just asked God, please help me. Please help me. Please send some help. I need help. And I don't know how. Don't ask me how. I confronted my grandmother. It was the worst thing I could do, because she started to catch more spells and more and more and more. And then I realized, okay, so I will face this. I have to face this. But I was out of money. I had debts, It was really, I was hopeful. And I quit my job in the worst time possible. And then a miracle happened. And it was really a miracle. She was so bothered by the fact that I knew who she really was, that she wanted me to get out of the house. So my uncle proposed to me to move to other house, and so I could leave my grandmother alone. And I said, okay, that's what I want. Yes, I'll pay your debts, and I will pay for your rental. But I said, please, but help me with some money, or and he said, yes, I will. Then he made me go through all the houses. I spent so much time going through the houses to try to find a place. And he was really arrogant, really demanding, and I was so sad, I was so hurt, I was so in pain, you know. I just found out my grandmother was cursing me, and all the pain I went through, that my mother hated me. My mother was really became a demon, and she breaks stuff, and she would scream, and she would do such scandals, and I was so embarrassed, and I went through so much because of my grandmother spells, and because of my grandmother evil, that I was so angry, I was so hurt, I was so in pain with that whole situation. And he was doing that to me, and I was feeling so, you know, I hate everybody. I hate this world. I hate this life. I don't want to be here. But I have to move, you know, I have to move. I know God have some big plans for me, and I will do it. I will do it. I don't care. I will face anything. I will face anyone that crossed my path, but I know I am protected. I will overcome this. And I said, okay. I searched, then I found a place, and that place was also really cursed. Oh my God. It was another horror movie. And I was like, oh my God, I have to take this place. It was the cheaper one. It was under my uncle's conditions, because he wanted to be in a place close to my grandmother's house. And I said, okay, I will take it. I will take it. And that was a place where I had this window in my bedroom door, and it looked like someone was always staring at me. I had this another colleague of room colleague, and she said she also felt that the furniture would appear in other place of the house without anyone touching it. That was some heavy, you know. If you see a horror movie, no, my life really was, in that case, a really, really big horror movie. So, but that made me not being afraid of ghosts, or because I was really afraid. I was really scared. And I heard voices at night, like calling me, like, wake up, and I was like, Susanna. And I will be freaking out. Oh my God, what is that? And things would go to the floor. And over this time, I saw this in the bathroom. We had this locker, you know, and the locker just did this, like, and I was, oh my God, and I was invoking my dragons. Yes, I have protecting dragons, and when there is really heavy energy, and I call up for them, and my dragons just came down, and they were rescuing me. I don't know if you believe dragons, but I do believe that dragons exist. And at that time, every time some really, really, really dark, heavy energy was around, I started to vaporize, like, it was like I was smoke, but it wasn't. It was just water, steam. But it wasn't water steam. It was when the presence of the dragons were there. It looks like a movie, but, you know, my life is just like this. And it was really, I start to get used to it. So Then the partner I was living with there, we started to talk with each other and stuff, and she started to try to gain my trust, and I was helping her to escape her ex-husband and her ex-husband's spells, and also her mother-in-law spells. And she really started to help me by buying some food because I didn't have money to eat. I sold all my things, and she used to buy me milk and bread and butter, and I was eating that for a long period of time. And my sneakers, I couldn't wait a minute. Right now I have some room colleague that lives right beside me that casts some spells on me, but she forgets that I am a witch too, so I send back to her. Anyways, as I was telling, this girl just started to using me as a vehicle to protect her. And so she moved out of the house. I would go walking, in Lisbon, walking to the other side of the city, and my sneakers would be I would have no soul, It was really getting heavy. And there was this time I had the chance to meet again a lady and a sir that I knew in the past, and they had this son and his son. Me and his son had an affair back in the day, so they invited me to their house, and his son was there, and I started to talk with him and having conversations with his son, and I realized that his son married a girl which was the face was just like me. It was really creepy, and I was like and that time when she moved, she ran out of money to pay a place to stay, and so I really asked his parents to let her stay there for a week or so she can get money to move. And so they did, and they feed us, and they were really, really, really helpful. And I hope one day I can get the chance to help them as they help me, because I'm really, really grateful for that. And so then I had to, and that time I didn't have to sleep over there. I slept over there because they would feel safer, because they knew me years ago, and they used to be with me on a daily basis, so I wouldn't just let her stay there and not be there, as a guarantee and as an assurance that they will be okay. So I did, even though I had my house there, rental, paid by my uncle. Then at the 5th month, then she joined the money to go, and I really thank the couple. They were really. I have no words. I have no words to express my gratitude to them. I have no words, and I hope one day I can really help them as they did. And I was at the 5th month. I had to go from that house because the rental, the girl, she was a ex toxicodependent, and she wanted to grow the rental by $20, 20 euros, and I didn't have that money to give her, and I wouldn't ask my uncle because he was really strict by saying he only would pay until 200 euros. And I said, okay, so I have to move. And so I moved to the same hostel as that friend. Her name was Christina. Because I knew she was, I thought she was my friend, and she would provide for me like food and stuff. And so I did. But the reality was that she had some evil intentions about it. Well, I will share it in part 2 of this video, and I hope you enjoy it.